man, we keep tiptoeing and dancing around the real issue, man. Snoop Dogg is on his apology tour.
When you first came out and you said what you said, you know, in regards to Gayle.
Yes.
My heart dropped. I felt like not only were you talking to Gayle, but you were talking to me. I was like, oh no, Snoop has now taken his power flow away from me, away from Willow, away from my mother, right? I was like, oh, if this is what's happening, I was like, not Snoop.
Right.
Right? And so that's one of the reasons why I felt like I really wanted to have the conversation with you in the spirit of healing.
My issue with us is everything we deal with is always out of context. We just suffer because we don't understand putting things in context. Snoop Dogg is on an apology tour. I'm like, for what? This is his third time apologizing. I'm like, dude, for what? Oh, I know why. Because Snoop Dogg got that phone call.
It was just a matter of me losing control because we still haven't swallowed Nip.
Yeah.
We still in Gulp and that. That's still in our heart right now. We still hurt behind that. And then Kobe and his daughter.
Yeah.
And then you lost a grandson recently.
Yes, I lost a grandson,
Yes.
grandmother. So it's like, and then I got to be strong in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Remember that part?
Yeah, that's, yep.
He got to turn it on.
Right.
It's time to be Snoop again. But what about when I want to cry?
Yeah.
What about when I'm hurt and I'm feeling bad and I feel disgusted and I want to be angry and I want to just blurt out?
Right.
I can't.
Right.
I let my emotions get the best of me.
Yeah.
I was frustrated on top of just venting and doing it the wrong way.
Snoop up there, it's just a bad look. You explaining yourself to Jada Pinkett Smith. Nobody wants to address this elephant in the room, and it's a big elephant that's in the room, and nobody wants to address it, and this elephant is tearing up the whole house. Breaking the couches, smashing the tables, shattering dishes, putting holes in the wall. This elephant in this room is tearing up the whole house. You can't protect black women. I said it. You cannot protect black women because you cannot hold black women accountable. I said it and I'll say it again. You cannot protect black women because you cannot hold black women accountable.
As black women, we have never been subject to the kind of examination that our men have been subject to since we have been here. We have been somewhat protected and shielded from any kind of critiquing about our personal behavior, whereas our men have always been up for examination.
You can't protect black women. We can't protect black women. You know why? Because you can't hold black women accountable. That's why we cannot protect black women. Yeah, I said it and I mean it and I'm gonna say it again. You cannot protect black women because you cannot hold black women accountable. Yes, I said it and I meant it. Y'all can call me toxic, but if you call me toxic, make sure you call me King T. And don't stand for King Tut, because I'm alive and well. Y'all won't put me in no tune to have me rot. I'm alive, I'm in the flesh, and I'm talking to you now. You can't protect black women because black women can't be held accountable.
I have heard many women who want to be in a relationship attempt to rationalize why they are still single by using the tired cliche, it's gonna take a strong man to handle a strong woman like me. Anyone with a slight bit of discernment knows that this really translates as, it takes a strong man to handle my lack of femininity, to handle my overbearing personality, to handle my need to be in control, and to handle my incessant disrespect. Problems should be handled. Children should be handled. Animals should be handled. Chemicals should be handled. But a grown adult woman should not need to be handled by anyone.
You can't protect black women because you can't hold black women accountable. It is impossible to protect something that you can't hold accountable. And that's the elephant in the room that nobody wants to discuss. You mean to tell me all this negative content out there about black women by our own people, and you all want to make Snoop Dogg the scapegoat? You all want to make Snoop Dogg the scapegoat. Come on, man. You all want to tell me that Snoop Dogg hates black women. This is what y'all saying. Snoop Dogg hates black women, but all this other content, all these other media sources, all these movies, all these TV shows, all these other artists, they love y'all. You all dance to their music. You all support their products. You all watch the content. And then you all pick Snoop to get mad at? Y'all picking and choosing what to be offended by. Who can protect that? You all are offended by Snoop, and there's a million things to be offended by before Snoop even comes into the room. You can't protect black women because you can't hold black women accountable. And nobody wants to talk about it. But if you all call me toxic, make sure you call me King T.
Is there anything that we can hold black women accountable for? We can't hold you accountable for what you wear. We can't hold you accountable for going over a stranger's house in the middle of the night. We can't hold you accountable for drinking yourself unconscious at a party. We can't hold you accountable for dealing with a dude knowing he ain't take care of his first 2 kids. We can't hold you accountable for only wanting to deal with bad dudes. We can't hold you accountable for taking dudes to child support unnecessarily simply because you're bitter that he doesn't want you anymore. We can't hold you accountable for supporting a feminized version of a man while simultaneously saying there are no real men. We can't hold you accountable for how you raise your kids. We can't even hold you accountable for being women because in 2017, y'all saying there's no gender rules, so there's nothing that a woman should do. Now y'all know I don't play with the men. I hold the men accountable and I raise them to a high standard. But it seems like y'all don't want to be held accountable for nothing that y'all do. How can we grow together as a race if we just act like men are only ones that gotta change?
Y'all made an excuse for Gayle King and she was wrong. She was wrong as 2 left shoes.
You have free will to ask yourself, do I want to enter into a situation with this person where we're intimate, where we're in close quarters, and you choose to do it not once, not twice, not 3 times, but like 4 times. And then all of a sudden, your perspective of black men as a whole becomes shaped by your negative experiences, which is normal because that's how we shape perspectives based off of our personal experiences. But you don't hold yourself accountable. And instead of holding yourself accountable and doing the much needed self-reflection, you do the cop-out and just say, I'm not going to deal with all black men.
Gayle King was wrong. She was as wrong as 2 left shoes. And you all gave her a pass. You all made excuses for her. Oh, she's just doing her job. What black man can go around condemning black women and get away with it? These rappers can do it. These rappers can do it. These movies can do it. These directors can do it. People that make these shows can do it. You got shows like Atlanta Housewives, Love and Hip Hop, all these shows making black women look terrible, and you all support it.
We are the #1 fucking killer in the black community. And what am I talking about? Abortions. I'm talking about with our black men, how we tear them fucking down completely.
All this content out there and you all love it. The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Love and Hip Hop, Black Ink, all these shows, all these reality shows out there showing the worst in our women, showing the worst in black women, and y'all love it.
Us as women, we get all the motherfucking handouts. We get all the Section 8, we get all the stipends, we get the child support, we get the EBT, we get every motherfucking thing. But the black man, he don't get shit. But strife, hell, and anguish and bitterness, and this shit gotta stop. Okay?
And you all are gonna choose to get mad at Snoop Dogg. All this content out there showing you all in a terrible light, and you all gonna pick Snoop Dogg to get mad at. He on an apology tour. He's on an apology tour. You all pick and choose when to get offended. How can I protect that? How can I protect you if I can't hold you accountable? How?
We have to be able to accept criticism and accept accountability for our actions. The things that we make excuses for as women, black women, mothers, the things that we make excuses for It's just ridiculous. It's an excuse for literally everything. When is it going to come a time where we're going to accept that we're wrong? Why is it so hard to accept that you're wrong? If you can't accept that you're wrong, then you cannot grow.
You can't protect black women because you can't hold black women accountable. You all literally let Gayle King get away with calling Kobe Bryant a rapist. She called the girl a victim. She called the girl a victim, and then she said Lisa Leslie wouldn't know, and y'all gave her a pass. You can't hold black women accountable. And then y'all want to be protected. Y'all want to get out of pocket and be protected. And what kind of world is this? What kind of world is this? Black women act like privileged white men. Y'all want to be flagrant and get away with it. Black women act like privileged white men. You all talk crazy and then want to have no consequences. You all want to be able to do what you want to do without any consequences. You can't protect black women.
I saw Jada said that when Snoop was talking to Gayle, I felt like he was talking to her. And it's funny how people want to jump in certain shoes when it's convenient for them. I totally disagree with Snoop calling Gayle out a name. That was definitely wrong because I don't do nothing like that. But what he said, I agree with. She was dead ass wrong. Now, like I said, people pick and choose what shoes they want to jump in. Why nobody ain't jumping in Kobe's shoes? Why nobody ain't jumping in his family's shoes? Imagine how he feel getting scrutinized and judged for something he never been guilty for. Not once was charged guilty for, but y'all keep bringing it up. Y'all keep talking about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hold men and women accountable the same way because wrong is wrong. And if you ain't with it, you ain't with it. That's just that. But you got to call people on their bullshit. I don't give a fuck how famous they is.
Y'all made all kind of excuses for Gayle King. You made all kind of excuses for Gayle King and Oprah. You all make all kind of excuses. You all let this bad behavior persist. And bad behavior feels into every facet of someone's life. They don't just act bad in one area. When you let bad behavior go unchecked, it affects everything and everybody. You can't hold black women accountable. So therefore, you can't protect black women.
And this video is about women in the black community being held accountable. Held accountable in regards to broken families in the black community. And there's so much talk with how men should be leaders and be held accountable. And there's so much talk about how men are this and men are that and blase, blase, blase. I didn't really come across any videos where women need to be held accountable. And what I mean by that is, we know 70% of black women are having children out of wedlock. And this has nothing to do with how men may be there for their children, even though they may just be cohabitating instead of married. This is beyond that. This is prior to children really being in the families. But I brought up that statistics to say it shows that women need to be held accountable of who they let in their hearts and in between their legs.
You can't protect black women because you can't hold them accountable. And nobody wants to talk about this elephant in the room tearing up the whole house.
So, the first thing I want to bring up is the concept of accountability. And I'm going to share 3 concepts with you guys over the next few days before the challenge. But the concept of accountability is a powerful concept where you have to reframe. And reframing is looking at something from a different lens. And so we will often view ourselves as powerless for many reasons. But the way that you find your light and the way that you create different results is to reclaim your ability to be powerful, lawn mowing neighbor, over your own life, over your own choices, and over the results that you are allowing and or creating. All right. So accountability is exactly that. It is reframing your thought process to understand that we have a choice. I am accountable for what I allow, what I don't allow in my world. And if I don't like the results, the hardest thing to do is to challenge my role in it, right? The easy thing that people do is to externally put the culpability and the onus elsewhere, because that makes you a victim and that makes you not accountable to the choices that you are making.
You can't hold black women accountable, therefore you can't protect them. They will always make excuses for poor behavior. You all literally gave Gayle King a pass for disrespecting a man that was never convicted of rape. Do you understand how terrible that was? It never even went to trial. And she said the woman was a victim. I can't do it. I can't do it. Y'all got Snoop Dogg on an apology tour with all this content floating around. Forget that. What about all the content that you all are doing yourselves? What about how you all are portraying yourselves? What about how you all are portraying yourselves in the media, on social media? This is crazy. You can't protect black women because you can't hold them accountable. Black women want to be able to be flagrant, out of pocket, reckless, and have no consequence. And the moment you say something about it, you are bashing black women, you are against black women. No. If you call me toxic, make sure you call me King T.
Social conditioning has rewarded women for bad behavior. We're going to go into, again, what you can do about this as a guy or as a woman later. So the number 2 thing, and these are not in any particular order, but the second thing that is causing women to lack responsibility or to pass the buck or blame the man in relationships is social media.
If you want somebody to change, first change yourself. We set the example. We are the teacher. We are the mother. We set the example.